Hey everyone, how you doing today? We are here inside the world of real estate, and today we have such an exciting guest. Her name is Vicky Leos, and she is from the Emerald Coast of Florida, and that is just the most gorgeous place to be. So we have lots to talk about today. So I'm just going to go in and Vicky, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you, Mary Ellen, for hosting me here today. And yes, I'm bringing you greetings from the fabulous Emerald Coast. If you don't know where that is in Florida, it's the Panhandle. It's called LA, Lower Alabama. So we just
Love that.
Yeah, we have the most beautiful beaches, and I'm not going to say in Florida. I'm going to say we have the most beautiful beaches in America, and we're on the Gulf of America. Ha ha ha!
Ha ha ha! Gulf of Mexico, America.
Yeah, it's the Gulf of Mexico right now. Anyway, Emerald Coast is beautiful. We have white sandy beaches and amazing. But anyway, going back to me, I'm actually a retired Air Force colonel. I retired about 10 years ago after 30 years in the military. I was an intelligence analyst, and I bring that up because as an analyst, I'm very detailed, thorough. I like researching numbers. I like to do things like that, right? And I had this thing about real estate. And when we first came here to the Emerald Coast, my husband and I, we were driving back to Virginia after my retirement out of Korea. We were going to go back to our home in Virginia. We never made it back. We stayed here. We decided to retire here on the Emerald Coast. And the first thing that we saw were condos. We decided we were going to buy a condo that way, if we came to visit my daughter, who was going to be stationed here as well, we would have a place to stay on the beach, blah, blah, blah. Well, the reason we decided for condos was my husband's really handy. And I got my license because we were going to flip all these condos on the Emerald Coast because they were all very dated. And we said, we need to flip. And so that was the start of my real estate career. And I walked into Keller Williams, the Keller Williams office. And I came to the first team meeting. The first thing they did is do the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer to start the meeting. Wow. So to me, coming out of the military and walking into a civilian, a real estate company, then that was the first thing that I felt very at home. And that's ever since. I've never left Keller Williams. To me, the culture is amazing. So that's my start of real estate. Was I was going to flip condos. Right. We flipped
condos. I love it. How many condos have you flipped since you've been in real estate?
The first one we bought, we lived in it for 2 years. We flipped it, turned around, and moved out of Destin. Destin is the beautiful. It's it's the heart of the Emerald Coast is Destin. And let me show you if I can on this slide. I don't know if you can see the detail, but there's approximately 120 miles between Perdido Key and Panama City Beach. That whole area is pretty much what we call the Emerald Coast, right? Nice. All that area, and I'm not kidding, is all beach, people.
And it's gorgeous.
Beach.
Gorgeous beach. And gorgeous water.
Beautiful white beaches, right? I wish I had them in this presentation. I have some other things. Maybe we can see some of the beaches, but just amazing. So anyway, so why wouldn't I want to stay here? Why would I go anywhere else? And I started with condos. Again, my interest was in flipping and so forth and so on. But the sales of condos here is a big market. We have two markets. We have the primary home market, and I'll address that in a second. And then we have the condo market, which is condo and second homes. We have a ton of beach homes, beachfront homes, but there are more condos than there are individual homes, of course. So I say, well, why wouldn't I want to learn how to sell condos? Condos in Florida are very, it's a little bit of a complication because you can't get the regular financing. You cannot get conventional financing for 99% of the condos here. So you have to know the intricacies of one, financing condos, two, the insurance concerns, the HOA concerns, and there's a new legislation that affect the purchase and sales of condos in Florida because of that condo that collapsed back in 2022. So to me, that was just a challenge. And I love doing research. So to me, going in, diving into the budget of a HOA or details on the HOA, the ins, the outs, the yes, the no's, the financing of condos. That all just intrigued me even more. Like I said, as an intelligence analyst, that was just second nature to me. So I continued. Today I'm known as a Destin Condo Queen. If you look up destincondoqueen.com, you'll see my website. That's me.
I love it.
So I love condos, and as you can see, my area orientation really was focused for condos. And then we have, like I said, we have second homes, tons of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful homes along the coastline, and some are closer than others. Some are actually on the beach, some are not, but just quite a bit. So that's our big second home market, if you will. The primary home market is pretty big too, because although we span a big area, a lot of it is uninhabitable because it's owned by the government and they use it as bombing ranges and other things. So there are 7 military installations within that 120 miles.
Wow.
So we have a very large military footprint here too. And so all services, Marine, Navy, Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, they're all present here. So that's a big, and those are the people that service the hotel industry, you know, the service industries, the hotels, the Airbnbs, all these things. That's the primary owners. And they live mostly north of Highway 98. Everything south of Highway 98, for the most part, becomes second homes, vacation rentals, things like that. So anyway, that's big.
That's a lot of that's a lot of great information. And what I really love about you is how detailed orientated you are and how you look at everybody and you can help them buy their dream home, whether it's a second home, their first home, and you can help them run the numbers so good that they feel so confident when they're using you. And you, like I said, you just give them top level service. And I just love that about you. And I love your background.
Thank you, Mary Ellen.
No, I really do. And I really do respect you and adore you. And that's why I'm doing these, because I want people to get to know you and understand this is how you work and this is how you work with a client. Because, you know, if I have a lot of people come from Atlanta and they're going to go to your area on 30A, which they do call it 30A, right? And
30A.
30A is what they call it here in Atlanta. And I think it's just so nice to have great referral partners that can guide your people in the right direction. So I do have a question for you. So one of my questions is, what's like the average price condo and HOA fee and also single family home?
Okay, so if you look at condos, it depends what area. Right now, for example, I just pulled up another slide that shows the Miramar Beach area. You can see the price range is anywhere from 200,000 maybe for a studio, all the way up to it says 1 million. These slides are a little bit older. 2 million, about 2 million, depending if it's a penthouse with 5 or 6 bedrooms, you're talking 2 million and below. But a 1-bedroom condo, for example, will probably be close in the 400s, 3 to 4.
Nice. Yeah. So, I mean, it still is pretty affordable, like especially for a second home, you know? And I think what you have with second homes too, is you have to make sure the numbers work, right? If it's a second home, if you're renting it or not renting it, is it a short-term rental, an Airbnb, a long-term rental? There's so much to know in your market just with how to deal with a property, right?
Right. That's just the price. So nowadays, unfortunately, our market, and I think a lot nationwide, we've seen like a screeching halt in 2023. It started to slow down. 24, it died. But you just have to work harder, is all it was, to buy and sell in our area. But the rentals went down as well. A lot of people stopped coming here because the world opened up after COVID. So people are going vacationing overseas, and they forgot about us a little bit. So you see the drop in rental numbers go down, and that affects investors coming to our area and wanting to buy, or even second home buyers that say, well, I need rental numbers to see, you know, is it going to pay for itself?
Right.
And,
yeah.
Well, we have a double whammy in Florida. We have the insurance increases because of the course, the hurricanes. Even though we don't normally get hit, knock on wood, we don't normally get hit on, with hurricanes very hard in our area as much as they did, in some other areas. But it does affect our insurance anyway. So that affects the HOAs. And then, like I said, there's new legislation in Florida for condos that are 3 stories higher and over 25 years old. Well, like I said, when I first got here, the first thing I noticed is that all these condos were older and needed updating. They needed a flipper, right?
Right.
So I looked around and I said, oh my God, there's so many. Well, yeah, there's so many because they are all 98% of the 99 or, the thousands that we have out here are over 25 years old. And they fall under the new legislation, which imposed a new rules on the amount of reserves that each HOA has to have. So there's HOA reserves that create assessments because we need to get to that reserve number. Or they do a structural inspection that was mandated as well. And they directed, these are things that you have to do. And so that affects the assessments. So insurance and this new legislation have increased our HOAs for condos at about 3 to 4 times what it used to be 2-3 years ago.
Right. So that's really important. Like, this is great for people who are, say, in Europe, or they're in California, and they want to invest in Florida, and they want to invest there, and then they're like, well, the numbers aren't really working because of everything. But that's why it's so great to have someone like you that's so detailed, because you are so up on all the rules and what's going on in this HOA, because you live, work, and play in that area. So you really know what's going on, which I love. And I think it's always important to find an agent who lives, works, and plays in that area and knows the area really well, because I think it's so important, because, like Atlanta is such a big place, and I only deal with the North Atlanta area. I do not deal with the South Side or the East Side or the West Side, because it's so big and the market's so different. So like in my area, it's hyper local. So that's what I love, that you're so hyper local with all the numbers and everything. Yeah. So I have a question. Okay, I think I know the answer to this. What's the biggest draw for people coming to your city?
Obviously, the beaches. Yeah, I think you can see on this picture.
Is number one.
Yeah. The beaches are number one. Number two, and I don't know if you can see it, is Crab Island. It sits behind this bridge over here. I'm trying to point it with the arrow over here. Crab Island's a big destination. 30A, everything about our area. 30A, for example, if you like kayaking or just nature trails, besides the beach, I'm just saying, 30A offers such a variety of natural preservation areas, and lakes and dunes and things. It's just amazing, because it takes you to a whole nother world. There's no, no structures, no nothing. It's all in a natural setting. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then in contrast, you look over this way and you see the beautiful green, emerald green waters of the Gulf, the white sandy beaches are all the way, the villages of 38. Each village in 38 has its own unique style. You go from Rosemary Beach, Alice Beach, go into Sea Grove, Seaside, Watercolor, all these names that I'm saying. Everybody's heard of them one time or another. But if you haven't, please Google 30A in Florida, and you will see.
You'll see everything. I mean, you'll see everything. And, when you come to 30A, it's just the vibe of it. What's the vibe of 30A? Like, what do people like? They're like, this is so cool. Is it laid back? Is it, vacation mode, party mode?
Everybody's in vacation mode, and people cater to you. We know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. Well, it's a flip-flop world. Everybody's in flip-flop shorts and a t-shirt, A lot of realtors, we end up wearing flip-flops because a lot of the places we're going in and out of, there's sand everywhere. There's this, that. Yeah. So, seeing a realtor in flip-flops and in a summer dress is not unusual.
Yes, it's so hot. So I love wearing, I always wear sandals and a dress or a skirt or something, because when you wear pants, it's so hot, and you're just like, I just want to be cool. So like you said, a nice little sundress and flip-flops is the vibe there in 30A. So if someone was coming to your area, and what would be one of the biggest challenges for your city?
Challenges, I think, is getting adjusted to a little bit the transient nature of, for example, Destin. Some of 30A is getting to that point because what's happened is as you allow more and more Airbnbs, more second homes, like I said, there's a highway that goes all the way from Pensacola to Panama City and beyond, and it's called Highway 98. Anything south of that generally is going to be very transient in nature. So if you're living in an area or in a condo or maybe some beach home that's near all this, you're going to see your neighbors changing every week, and that is a challenge.
That's a challenge, yeah.
Adjusting to the transientness of specifically Destin. As you spread out, for example, Navarre is more it's I would say 100% military related families. It's all families. It's all north of Destin. We have Niceville, which is just 15 minutes across the bridge, and Niceville is also very purely residential, mostly catering to the military families. We have, oh, by the way, Niceville has the top schools in the state of Florida.
Wow.
And one of our private schools is, it's considered really a prep school, and it's considered amongst the top 100 in the nation. So the demand for schooling and, you know, how good it is makes Niceville like a really hot place to live as a primary home. So just saying that. But yeah, coming to the Destin area and even Miramar Beach, Sandestin, it's all very transient. So getting adjusted to that, and then getting to the volume of people. We have well over 4 to 5 million people visit us in peak season at any time or during the year at any time. And to see that volume of people, traffic.
Traffic can be big. You think traffic's bad in Atlanta, just go to 30A during spring break, right?
During spring break, right? Well, not even spring break. Come here in June or on the 4th of July. I challenge you to, you know, put your patience cap on because traffic is slow, very slow. You might as well walk or ride a bike, which is very common in 30A. A lot of people ride bikes.
What about golf carts? Golf carts, yeah.
Yeah, some villages over in 30A will not allow golf carts, so you do ride your bike. Again, 30A is a whole different setting, a whole different nature. It's more natural setting. It really looks like a fishing village or something like that. And then you look at Destin, which you're looking at here in this picture, and you see all the sky condos, all the towers. And
that's
like wow.
Stuff, right?
It's very, very different from Santa Rosa Beach or 30A, which is all trees and trees and trees. You got 2 state parks there that occupy a lot of the space, and all you see is trees forever on the road versus towers. So it's 2 very distinct,
2 different worlds that are so close together. Really, seriously, when you think about it, 2 different worlds.
And then let me mention one more thing. I'm sorry. Fishing is another big attraction. So you're guaranteed to fish in. This is one of the places where you say that you will catch fish when you go out to see fishing. So all these charter boats are up here. The harbor, the Destin Harbor, is phenomenal. It's huge. They have all types of water sport activities going. You know, you can rent your own pontoon boat and so forth, or you can hire a captain and get a boat to take you out to sea. There's the fishing trips and everything, but fishing will likely be only in the Destin area or all the way in Fort Walton or Pensacola or all the way to Panama City. Why? Because that's where we have the deep water, the harbors. If you don't have a harbor to put the docks out, you can't do it on the beaches. So 30A, for example, they have to come all the way to Destin, or they have to go to Panama City Beach to actually go fishing and do those kind of activities.
Yeah, we're going to dig into all those fun activities and stuff in a minute.
All right.
If you have one question about the economy in your market, are there any major companies? I mean, I know you have tons of military and tourism. Is there anything else that drives your economy there on 30A?
30A in particular, no.
Nope. So it's really tourism.
It's really a tourist industry.
Yep.
mostly. And again, like I said, the only other thing is the military, and you have several, contracting companies here
Mhm.
that support the military that are present, but the majority of the employment in our area obviously is going to be one construction.
Right.
There's always construction going on. I don't know. We run out of land, but yet we still seem to have construction going on.
Pretty
And
interesting, I think.
we don't have land. We're pretty much waterlocked or and landlocked. Like I said, the government owns a big portion of the Panhandle, belongs to the government. It's the military lands, so there's
Sure.
no building there going on. The construction is going on is a lot of maybe gentrification, but also tear down the old, building new on the same footprint. We have to deal with the Department of Environmental Protection, our coastal lines, all these things. So building along the coastline is very, very difficult. It takes a long time. Just permits alone will take 18 months or more to build, because you have to go through the Department of Environmental Protection, sometimes the Army Corps of Engineers. It just depends where you're at and so forth. But there's always, so a lot of our workforce is service oriented, obviously for the tourist industry, the construction, and of course the military, anything that works related to the military.
Okay, perfect. And I knew the answer to that question, but I have to ask it so people can know.
Of course.
So the next part is so much fun. Like, what do people do? Like golf and pickleball and tennis and beach stuff. So tell me some of the fun things that are happening there.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a golf,
Yes, you are a golfer.
I have to have my golf fixed every weekend, or I can't go on for the rest of the week. That's like my thing. So of course we have gazillion golf courses in Destin alone. I want to say we have about 10 golf courses. Niceville has 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. No, 4. Sorry, 4. So we have quite a few golf courses. So golf is the big thing. Of course, water sports, all the water sports you could think of. We have, parasailing, again, fishing and fishing boats. And there's this new sport that I'm not sure, it's not parasailing. It's, they almost look like they're flying.
Like flying birds?
No, they're on like surfboards or whatever, and they're kites above them, guiding them.
Nice.
Or like surfing with kites or something. I don't know. It's just really
Oh,
cool.
wow, that's fun.
I don't
We
know
all
what
have
it's
to
called.
go there
Oh my
to do
God,
that.
this is my bad. So embarrassed because they have such great winds coming out, especially over by Fort Walton Beach. And there are like other activities, again, hiking. There's a lot of trails everywhere that you could do. So hiking appeals to a lot of people as well. Yes, pickleball has become like the latest thing to do, of course. Golf and pickleball became really popular with COVID, because we really couldn't do, people were afraid to do anything else, and so the outdoor sports were a thing. But again, fishing is a big thing for activities, and then dining. Oh my God.
Well, yeah, that was you already took my segue into dining.
Oh, okay.
So let's go into dining and food and
dining.
seafood. Oh my God, I'm just craving seafood right now because I'm landlocked here in Atlanta.
For the longest time, 30A had very boutique-ish kind of restaurants, and they're excellent. I'm not speaking bad, but there wasn't much more, and there was a lot in Destin. And so there was like, Destin was packed, not just the traffic from Destin. We had the people coming in from Santa Rosa Beach, because there wasn't. Now, Santa Rosa Beach, at the end of 30A, they've created this whole shopping center, and it has all these restaurants that were here in Destin are now there. And they have 2, one in Destin and one in 30A. So you see a lot of that going on. Italian food. We have 3 or 4 great true Italian families here that have expanded their businesses. My favorite is Nemo's. I don't know if we're allowed to endorse people or not, but Nemo's, actually, his wife is also a Keller Williams agent. She's phenomenal agent as well, Megan. But they started here in Destin, and now they're on 38. That's an example of what's going on. People love it. The donut hole. I don't know if you look at.
Yes, I've heard of the
Donut hole was here in Destin. Now they have one on 38 as well. So that's great because it kind of keeps people in the area that they're in. We don't have to draw traffic this way or traffic that way. Traffic is just bad in the summer anyway. So
sure. And there's lots of fun happy hours and fish and bars and things to do like that. So
and outdoor malls. We're not big, we're not huge, we're spread out a lot, I think, but we have some nice pockets of shopping centers, malls that provide great entertainment. There's a great bowling alley. I'm pointing over here. It's across the street at the Destin Commons, which is an outdoor mall.
Sure.
Right next to the Bass Pro shop, where they have a huge, fake shark hanging, and people take their pictures there or whatever. Across from there, they have a bowling alley, and it's the coolest bowling alley I've ever seen. It looks like you were underwater, and there's sharks.
Cool.
It's like dark and whatever, and you have sharks, and it's a ocean or sea.
Sure. That is
thing.
cool. And then I'm sure you have a lot of putt places, because it's so funny, like in your memories of kids when you would go to Florida, like I'm from New York, so we'd go to Florida and it would be like, oh, we can play putt. You know what I mean? Like that was just something you always do on vacation for some reason. At least we did, because my parents were big golfers and I play golf too as well. So it was always fun to do putt. So
we have
boutique-y like little shops and stuff. I know you have a lot of that stuff.
Right. On 38, certainly. 38 does not have like a water park and putt golf. That you need to go to Panama City, or we come here to Destin. We have putt golf and Big Kahunas, which is the water park. And further on Okaloosa Island, Adventure Island, I think is the name of it, or Adventure World or something. They also have, putt golf and water slides and things like that. We also have a beautiful aquarium in Fort Walton Beach and in Panama City. So again, there's plenty to do along the entire shoreline. You go into Navarre. If you've ever been to Navarre Beach, go towards Pensacola, go west past Navarre Beach, and it's a state park. I believe it might be a national park. Anyway, it's protected area. So there's no construction, and you see the most beautiful. Let me see if I can find it.
I bet you're the most beautiful birds, right?
Yes. Well, and that's the thing. The reason it's protected is for the birds that live along this area. This is Pensacola Beach. Hold on.
Nice.
Right here. I don't know if you can see this. This is Navarre Beach here, but just there you can see it. Like all of a sudden, there's nothing, right? That whole section right there between Pensacola Beach and Navarre Beach is all a big park. And so there's very limited, not limited, but there's quite a bit of parking, but you have to park. And the speed limit there is 15 miles an hour. And they do put the radar out there. They try to catch you because they are very protective of the natural. It's a natural setting for birds from the area and things like that. So
that's so cool. Really, so really 38, the Emerald Coast, like let's just say the Emerald Coast, because that sounds
the Emerald Coast, yeah.
The Emerald Coast, there's something to do for everybody. You know what I mean? It's just beautiful, like the scenery. Even if you don't swim, the scenery is just amazing. And then I know that they've built so many hotels now, and all these hotels have these like beautiful beaches, but then have these amazing pools. You know what I mean? So a lot of that.
Can you see this picture? Do you see that picture? That's 38. You can see Santa Rosa Beach 38, the difference. You see it's all little houses and tucked in with trees, right?
Right.
There's a lot more vegetation in between. And then the height. It's interesting because down by the harbor in Destin, we're at sea level in some areas, maybe below sea level. And then as you go all the way to 38, it's almost like the elevation starts going up. And you go to Rosemary Beach and you're sitting in the village up on top, and there's a 50-foot drop to, you got these long stairs to get to the beach because we're so high. So, the effects of hurricanes and things is so minor in our area, so different from so many
That's
other
good
areas.
because hurricanes are just not fun. They really aren't.
No, I shouldn't be talking about hurricanes. People are going, no, I don't want to go. No, we don't. I don't think I've been here now 10 years, and I think the last one that hit anywhere like direct hit
Right.
To Destin and Niceville in that area was probably about 20 years ago.
Okay, so did you actually get some snow this year or sprinkles of snow, or what the heck happened in Florida here?
Not sprinkles, if you can believe it. I got 8 inches of snow on top of my pool enclosure.
No
My
way. I
neighbor's
can't believe
enclosure
that. No way. You got more snow than Atlanta. We didn't get any snow this year, but
8
I
inches in
so
Florida.
was
Where
that
is
like
that?
the
I
first
mean,
time
I don't
ever?
think it's ever happened.
Was that
I
like the
think
first time ever or something? Like how weird was that?
I don't know. I think it was like at least over 150 years before when this ever was even recorded. If they ever recorded it, it would have been over 100 years ago because no one's ever heard of. I mean, we've heard of like a flake or two because we're in the Panhandle, we're in Lower Alabama, LA, and it does get cold in the winter. It can drop, and you can get a couple flurries, but the sun is out. They melt before they come down, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding. I have a pool enclosure and I was paranoid that it was going to rip my screens. And then I looked over at my neighbors. My neighbors enclosure collapsed, not the screen, the
whole thing, the cage, whatever you call the cage, because you guys do.
They're not built to hold weight.
No, not at all.
No.
All right, so let's talk about
like
the climate as we're talking about snow, which once in 150 years, in 2025, it actually snowed in Florida. Tell us about the climate in Florida, in the Emerald Coast.
Well, we do have pretty much 4 seasons. I don't have, I lived in Korea, so I had some very heavy coats, and they've been sitting in a closet since we got here 10 years ago because I only use them when I go to Kansas City because it's cold again. But
else in the world.
Right, there's no coat season here. Although with that snow, we also get down to the 20s. I think the next day, which was really freaking me out.
Weird, yeah, definitely.
So we do have 4 seasons, but the like right now, March, April, May, it's very mild. It's just in June and July, August, it gets very humid. And so we've got 100% humidity and heat. It's it's hot. It's very hot. But again, people don't care because they're coming from everywhere and they're just coming to the beach. They don't care if it's hot. They're going to be in the water.
Yeah. So like in the spring, do you have like certain flowers that are blooming and just, is it really pretty during the spring there?
It is pretty, but we have it. I don't know how to explain it. The blooming, you're going to see a lot of azaleas, and I don't know.
Which I love azaleas. I have
azaleas,
gazillion
azaleas, and dogwoods. We have
okay.
The only problem in the spring, and this is only if you have allergies, is the
pollen. The pollen is 10 times worse in Atlanta than it is in Florida. I will guarantee you that.
Well, I don't know if it can get any worse. I'm allergic to I know because I get these awful migraines and it's pollen season. It's pollen season, but it's lowering. It started more early March, and it's I think we're pretty done here by April.
Nice.
April might bring some spring showers. It gets cold at times. At night, it's still cool. I don't turn my air conditioner or my heater on usually in the spring or the fall.
Okay.
I don't need either. I just fresh air. For the most part, my house stays pretty cool. I try to keep my house at 72 degrees year round. And and like I said, I don't turn the heater or the air conditioner on probably until later. Air conditioner.
Well, the Emerald Coast is a place you want to be because the climate is amazing. All right. Yeah. So, what do you enjoy to do outside of real estate? So we want to learn about you a little bit more.
Me. Well, for one, I have two daughters, 24 and 34. So the 24-year-old is living with us or near us anyway. And so we try to stay, do things with her from time to time. For me at this age, it's about my kids, my family. My older daughter has two little boys, my grandsons, that are, the love of my life. And they're going to be moving here soon this summer. So I'm really
Oh, wow. That's like so exciting.
Yeah, they were up in Missouri in the middle of nowhere in a cornfield somewhere over by Whiteman Air Force Base at Knob Noster, Missouri. So,
oh my goodness. So, that's so exciting.
Yeah. So to me, that's the thing is, once they're here, we have a pool. We don't spend a lot of time in the pool other than maybe in the summer when we come out. We like to walk. My husband and I like walking. There's we live on the golf course because we're avid golfers.
Right.
So that to me, my world revolves around that and traveling. I travel a lot. I've traveled the world in the military. I was an Air Force brat, so I started. My mother was originally from Spain, so and my husband's from Korea originally, so we met there. So we travel a lot to either Korea or Spain every year, one of the two or both sometimes. And then in the United States, we're trying to go. I travel with Keller Williams to a lot of these luxury pro conventions.
Yes. And we missed you in Charleston.
I know. Well, I had a seller come into town.
Yeah,
and I
got to take care of that sometimes. But Charleston was fun.
When you work with out-of-state owners and they only come here during a specific time, I had to cancel. I was already, booked in hotels and everything, ready to go to Charleston.
Right.
And I had to cancel. But I love the travel. I just like to go see and
I know that's why we have so much
travel and golf. Travel
and golf. There you go. That's like perfect. So if you had a bucket list place or destination or somewhere you've been, what would you tell our viewers? What's one of your favorite places or somewhere you really want to go?
Somewhere I really want to go. Well, I know where I want to go and I haven't been is Machu Picchu in Peru. I want to go to Peru, definitely Peru. I've been to the Dominican Republic and there was one of the most beautiful, and I don't know that it's still the same way, natural setting beaches that just amazed me was Samana. So if anybody's ever been to Samana, it's north of Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. And it wasn't as touristy as much as that's where actually what made it kind of famous was the whale watching.
Oh wow. Yeah, and I love whale watching. Oh, that's one of my
that has to be one of my most amazing. We've got the most beautiful beaches in America here. I can't say that we don't. But
right.
That one was so beautiful, so different. You had that big contrast of the rocks and the trees, and then the beautiful white sand, and then flat, and then again big, rocks, and just I don't know. It's hard to explain. It was just
that's definitely somewhere I have to put on my list because I have not been there. So that's one on the list. That's definitely on the list. All right. So I have one more question for you.
Sure.
What has been your most rewarding real estate transaction and why? I know it's a hard question.
Yeah. I had, I think I have two, but one of them was my first luxury home. I came across the opportunity with a buyer. I met my buyer back in 2016. I sold her my first beachfront home. And this last January, I sold that same home to a new buyer. So that was I sold it for her. So that was very meaningful to me because that was my introduction to luxury. And this year it was like the start of a wonderful 2025 at very high volume. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
So that's one home I will never forget. It was, you'll see on my YouTube and things like that. Salty Dog is the name of the house. And it was dog, like DAWG, like a dog from Atlanta.
Like the Georgia
Tech dogs. Georgia Tech dogs. So that's what
funny.
it was, Salty Dog. That was, I think, my most memorable. And then the other one I had just recently as well was I sold a condo on the beach in Signature Beach. That's right in Destin, right next to Back Porch. It's a fabulous restaurant as well. A beautiful, beautiful condo with some of the most amazing views. But this gentleman sold it to buy another condo that I had listed in the Destin Yacht Club. And when I sold it to him, he said, "This is the most amazing view in the world. Oh my God, I love it. I love it." It was in the harbor. And I said, "Yes, this is, Destin's most beautiful." Right. And then when he asked me to list his condo, which I just sold last February, and I went over there to see it, I was like, "This is the most amazing view. What do you mean?" I said, "Why did you give this up to get that?" Well, he likes boats and fishing, and he's in the harbor now, which is what made
it so it's easier. His lifestyle is a little easier.
The beach is pretty, but it's not. It didn't inspire him as much or whatever. So that was pretty memorable. The fact that that I got to sell that he bought a condo from me that I had listed in the Destin Yacht Club, and then allowed me to sell his condo that even had. I mean, I guess it depends, but what you like better, beach or harbor. But to me, the two top spectacular, and I've seen plenty of condo penthouses. None of them can compare to the views of these two condos. So that combination is always going to be memorable as well.
Yeah, and I think in the Emerald Coast, you are selling lifestyle, location, and the vibe, right? So I think it's just one of those amazing experiences you're going to have. Yeah. And I think you being so detailed orientated, being military, and thank you so much for your service. You can understand everyone, whether you can understand their needs, and then you can guide them in the right direction. So I think, and you dealing with all different price points, all different types of people, you're dealing with, like you said, investors, you're dealing with people that you probably sold properties sight unseen, that trust you so much to do that. I do that as well.
Military, bless their hearts. They move here. They have PCS orders, and they tell them you're going to go, and they're like, "Oh my God!" But they don't allow them time to come here and shop for a home.
So that's
what buying sight unseen. Yes,
exactly. Yes. And I really respect that, because people that do that, then they come here and they're so in love. Like sometimes you get a little nervous because you're like being really detailed about showing them everything in the property, every corner, every advantage, disadvantage, and then when they come here, they just are so happy because you found them the perfect
we
property.
sell them the lifestyle, and that's the first question. On your questionnaire, you should always ask your seller, what do you do? What do you like to do?
Yes,
because that's going to guide me as to where you want to be in our area. Not just the price points, because the price points vary by areas, of course, but what do they like to do as a family or no family? I'm single. I like the nightlife. I like this. You know what I'm saying? That is what you really need to know, because there's such a variety along the Emerald Coast. It's so amazing. Yes, that's how we find
I have to say, Vicki, I have enjoyed so much learning about the Emerald Coast and learning more about you, because our viewers need to know before they hire someone what you're like, right? And this is real. This stuff's real. This is not.
This is real. This is as real as you get.
Rehearsed. This is a conversation. So this is what you get with Vicki. And is there anything else you wanted to add before we end our wonderful conversation today?
No, just to tell you that the life, my Emerald Coast lifestyle is my logo, right? But it's lifestyles. There's not one unique lifestyle in this area. There are so many, and people fit everywhere. Everything you love, you're going to find on the Emerald Coast. And I just need to guide you to show you where it is, and then you pick and say, oh my God, and then you have options. It's just, the Emerald Coast is just amazing. And that's why I never made it back to Virginia, and I stayed here.
She never left.
I never left. I was passing through and never left.
That is a great story. And I think that also it's probably people come down too, and right? And people will come down on vacation and they don't realize how beautiful it is. And then they end up buying a place, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. They fall in love and they say this. Then there's the generational families that come here. They have been coming here since they were kids, and now their kids are coming here. Because once you've been here, it's just so hard to say I'm not coming back. It's amazing.
No, it's so beautiful, and the waters are beautiful. Just everything about it, the lifestyle.
Everything about the Emerald Coast is. And again, if you don't like water and you want to go to nature trails and you want to go hunting or you want to go whatever else on land, there's plenty of that. And plenty of gators too, if you want to go find them. You can go find them.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much for being on our podcast today. The Inside the World of Real Estate with Vicky Leos and the Emerald Coast of Florida. And we thank you so much.
Thank
you.
And
everybody, you have a great day.